Hello and welcome. In this video I would like to show this intimidating lock to you. It's an American lock body with a SCHLAGE Primus core. Really cool. This beautiful lock was kindly sent to me by Luke's Locks about 2 months ago, and it really scared me. I didn't even dare to stick a pick in this lock, but my son always asked me to give it a try. And so 2 days ago I gave it a try, and I slowly revealed the secrets of this lock, and I want to show you how I pick it open, and I want to show you what's inside. Very interesting stuff. So we have 2 keys. One is the operating key and the other type is the control key. The control key has a little bit longer ends, so if you can compare it to the operating key, so that's the operating key, that's the control key, and this end part here is to interact with the last pin, so the 7th pin, so to speak, and that pin then is depressed and can activate the retaining pin when the key is turned, and then you can remove the core. So it's a 6-pin pin-tumbler, and it has a sidebar. You can see the cutouts for the pins of the sidebar. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pins in the sidebar, and of course we need to pick the 6 pins of the pin-tumbler and deal with the sidebar pins. I'll show you that the lock works nice and smooth, and it's locked up. So let me clamp it in a vise and try to pick it. So here we are, like so. Where is my pry bar? Here is my Peterson pry bar, the thin pry bar, and I use a steep hook from Peterson to pick it. So medium tension. Work my way to the back. Slowly check every pin. And click. I think I overset pin, so need to be more careful. Okay, got it picked. So the pin tumbler is picked. You have seen the core turned a little bit, but the lock doesn't open. So we now have to take care for the sidebar, and it's on this side, and the sidebar pins are at the right side of the open keyway, and I used this very thin and shallow hook to manipulate the sidebar pins, and I'm really careful with the tension only very light tension, just to prevent the core from turning back. And I try to, haha, and here we are, it's open. Try to rake actually the sidebar pins, which works pretty good. So lock is picked. And to take it apart, I have to, I have to lock it back up and to use the control key, which is that one. First lock it back up again, then use the control key to get the core out. So you can see it depresses the pin here on the end, which is the retaining pin, and prevents the core from coming out. And here you can see the last pin that's depressed by the control key. And if you stick in the operating key, which is missing the last part here, it does not turn, depress the last pin, so core can turn all the way. Okay. To take this core apart, I need to depress this pin at the end to turn the wheel. Then the spring comes out. Okay, the pin is gone, but I will find it again later. So now I use the operating key. Oh, no, that's the control key, sorry. It's the operating key. Turn it and use a follower to get the core out, a plug out. And here you can see the sidebar. I hold it down with my finger. So here you can see the sidebar. It's spring loaded with all parts intact, and it has two springs. Don't want to lose them. Here are the two springs. And dumped out all the key pins. I just wanted to show you that the keys are working nicely, key pins, but I dumped out all the, no, that's the last pin. That's for the control key. And then we have the, no, that's not right. Okay, so here we are. You can see all the pins are working nice and smooth. I'll dump them out one by one. Only standard pins, nothing special on them. So here are the 7 pins. That's the last one for the retaining pin. So then we have the sidebar elements. You can see the 5 pins here that move when you stick in the key. And when they move, when they turn, they can see they give free its space, so when they turn to the right angle, only a small rod can be seen, which goes in these grooves. If they are turned incorrectly, you can see a solid part, which prevents the sidebar from being depressed. So let me dump out the sidebar pins. I think it's sufficient to show you one. It's also spring loaded, so there's a spring inside the hole. So here is one sidebar pin at a greater detail. You can see the element here on the top that interacts with the cutouts in the key, and the key then turns the pin. And you can also see the cutouts here in the middle, and if the key has turned the pin into the right direction, then the sidebar can be depressed, so it fits nicely here in this cutout. If it's not turned to the right direction, of course, the sidebar cannot be pushed in. So here is the key. I'll show you how this element on the top interacts with the cutouts. So the sidebar pin is spring loaded, so it tries to push upwards, and when the key is inserted, the sidebar pin turns, and as it is spring loaded, it will stay at the deepest point, or at the highest point from this view in the cutout, and is then turned to a specific angle. And if you compare two different sidebar pins, you will find that the cutouts in the middle are at different angles. So if we look at this, for example, at this pin, compared to the element that interacts with the key, the cutout in the middle is more on the left. And when I take that one, you can see at that one it's more on the right. So that's the actual bidding, so to speak, on the sidebar pins. Yeah, let me quickly reassemble the plug with the sidebar pins, and I will show you how it looks like when I pick it. So here's the plug reassembled with all the sidebar pins, and the key is in. You can see the sidebar pins look into different directions according to the cutouts on the key. And when I move the key, you can see the sidebar pins turn, and they follow the shape of the cutouts. So here's the slot for the sidebar, and you can also see that they turn. So I remove the key now. I show you how the sidebar can be picked. So I stick in the my tool, so the hook, in like so, and manipulate the pieces that normally interact with the key with my pick, and you can see how the pins turn. And you also have to depress them a little bit, just like the key would do it, because now they are at the very top here, but they need to be depressed a little bit. So actually this little spacing here, at this little distance, they must be depressed. And I can also show you how this looks like from this view. So here are the pieces that normally interact with the cutouts of the key. And when you stick in the pick, you can see how you can manipulate them, so back and forth, and you can also depress them a little bit. But the pick needs to be very small so that you can go in like that, and you can manipulate the sidebar pins, so back and forth and back and forth. And I did not really individually pick or move every pin. It was more like raking, more like an arbitrary movement of my pick back and forth and back and forth. And important is the tension control. So apply very, very light tension and try to feel when the plug turns a little bit. Then you can follow this this give, and very quickly the sidebar is then depressed. Alright, so this was the sidebar, and I totally forgot to show you the driver pins. So we already had a look at the key pins, but I totally forgot the driver pins. But they are not too spectacular. I actually can dump them out all at the same time, and here are the springs. All are standard pins, nothing special. Very nice springs, very nice and short springs. So the magic of this lock is, oh, there's one spring missing. Okay, we'll get it out later. No, it should go out now. Yeah, here it is. So the magic of this lock is actually the sidebar, not the pins for the pin tumbler. You can see all standard pins. Okay, so this was the operating pick and opening of the American lock with a SCHLAGE Primus key. SCHLAGE Primus core. There are possibilities to pick this core to control and to remove the core, but therefore you need to stick in something that depresses this last pin, so a piece of metal or whatever. And when this is done, you can pick the core, and then when you turn the plug, it will depress this retaining pin, and then you can remove the core. But I'm not really sure if I will try this, because if I stick something in this plug and in the keyway and something goes wrong, I'm really I really messed it up then, and I will not be able anymore to open this lock again. So I will probably never try that. But yeah, was a very interesting lock with all these little pieces here and the sidebar, and yeah, it was intimidating at the first glance, but yeah, finally wasn't too hard to open. So Luke's Locks, thank you very much for this inspiring lock. Everybody else, thank you very much for watching, and happy picking. Bye bye. So quick addendum to show you the mechanism of the control key in a more detailed view. I've reassembled the lock, but without the pin tumbler pins. Only the last pin is in this lock. And currently the control key is not yet sticked in all the way. So you can see the last pin here is flush with the surface of the plug. When I turn the plug, no problem, plug can turn. Now when I push in the control key, it pushes down this last pin, and this last pin now interacts with the ring, and when I turn the plug, this ring turns and takes along this connection pin, and this connection pin then depresses the retaining pin. So now when I remove the key again, the last pin can go up when I turn the plug, and plug can turn again freely. So now when I wanted to pick the lock to control, I first had to stick in something here at the last position, at position number 7, to constantly depress this last pin. And then I would need to pick the lock, and once the core is picked, a movement of the plug would then depress the pin, and you could remove the core from the lock. Alright, that's it. Happy picking, and thanks for watching. Bye bye.